numbers don't lie. We have the numbers. And every time the state, through its system, try to put us down or look the other way, we shoot them with the numbers. And so you have to be really proud of this university. There are people who long before I got here, worked to build this institution to what we have today. All I'm trying to do in my time here is to take it to the next level. And we just got an incredible group of folks over the years, incredible leadership through the presidents, vice president, and fortunately, we just learned, we heard about the passing of Dr. Bob Kalu, who was our chief academic officer for so many years. People like Mel Scarlett, people like Sam Ingram, Jim Walker, Barbara Haskew. There are a lot of folks who have spent years, great alums that we've had that support us through thick and thin, that have made this institution a great institution. So you can see why I have the passion for this university. It's just really, it is the place to be, and we're going to continue to work to making this one of the best academic institution that you'll find in the country, and I appreciate your support. So let me stop there and see if you have any questions. Thank you for having me here. I always like the opportunity to come and talk about our university. My assistant, Kim Edgar, has some handouts. It's a MTSU glance fact sheet. Again, numbers don't lie. So when folks tell you, well, I don't know what they're doing on another campus, just pull the sheet out. Say, this was I say. I'm open up for questions. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any statistics about the percentage of students that live on campus?
Yes, ma'am. We have, and that's a really good question, because we've made a strategic decision to partner with the business and industry and not get in the business of providing housing, because you all and those who work with the apartment complex do a better job than we can do. We're in the education business. Out of the 27,000 plus students, we only house about 3,700. And that's the other thing. If you look around, all these apartments that's popping up, they're making a ton of money at the university because they right around. We decided not to go around and start building residence hall. We thought that we will work with the areas and have them provide the housing, and we only house about 3,700 of the 2,700. Because of construction going on campus.
And so it's pouring down rain. I had just unloaded all of our stuff to set up, and I reached back, and let me say, I live in a house divided.
Okay.
I'm a big blue fan, but I reached back to get an umbrella, and it wasn't blue. So I chose to walk to the building and went.
All right, Kim, I tell you what we're going to do. Kim, we're going to give her a pass for one to come to my Sky Suite for one of our football games. For doing that. Get a name, and we'll do that, all right? I really mean that, because I get really so riled up when I walk across campus and I see people walk around with some other shirt or T-shirt or, yeah, so. She set me up for that. She knows my weak spot. Now, did Bob Lime ask you about the name change thing? That was the first thing he and his buddy, Bud, accosted me when I first was appointed 10 years ago. Let me deal with the first one. The second one I'm not going to answer because Bob is going to. No, I will. Let me deal with the name change first. Let me switch. I think it's an important discussion to have. I'm not so sure, though, with all the other issues that we have on our plate, particularly as it relates to funding, the support. We just went through a major issue with the state and its new formula. We were not funded properly. They developed a new formula that, frankly, and I'll go on record, and I've been on record saying was designed to help some other institutions then, and I gave you that statistics, the numbers about the subsidy for Memphis and UT Knoxville. There are bigger issues I think we need to fight, frankly, now than a name change. Okay, there are some issues with the name. There's no question. I acknowledge that, but I think we need to energy and the resources and the chips that we have. We need to use it to get our science building. We need to use that politically to make sure we get proper funding, and that's where my front burner issue is. What was your first question?
About
the border regions. Frankly, I think there's so few dollars in this state to have separate board of trustees running around fighting for the crumbs on the table. I think is counterproductive. I think our system works quite well as it is. With regards to the two systems. A lot of universities, and I came from some in the state. I was at Louisville, where every institution has its own board of trustees, and everybody trucks down to the General Assembly, and they're fighting over the crumbs. That other university in Kentucky at that time, UK, had the political clout, and they got everything. And then when I was at the University of Louisville, not even to talk about Western or Morehead, they got whatever the little scrapping. I would hate for us to resort to that kind of system. And so I'm not overly enthused about breaking away. And I know the University of Memphis has been pushing that. And I hope we keep what we have. Yes, ma'am. And I'll get back to you.
I have a comment and also have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The first is that we are all in business to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are either an affiliate, has something to do with real estate or a realtor. And we attend all the football games, the basketball games, we're avid into things.
Mm-hmm.
But we get in our vehicle on a beautiful sunny day to go to a football game. And it's like, it takes us 15, 20 minutes. We're getting to a college campus, to a college game.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have the community supporting MTSU.
Yeah.
And what a shame
Right.
that people will get in their car and drive 2 hours to a school they never graduated from to go to a ball game. So it's like, I must encourage everyone to be supportive of MTSU, their athletics, their academics, but where can you go?
Yeah. And get that quality service and get quality. Yeah, and it's getting better. Now, I've been here. I can now look at this in perspective because 10 years ago, it was a real, and we even struggled, and I was on the board, and I'm back on the NCAA board. When I was on the board, and I had to fight the policy where, because we were struggling getting 15,000. Now, we've gone above that, and that's no longer an issue. But we should reach the point where, and I think we will, I really am, where that 32,000 stadium should be sold out every game, regardless of who we're playing. Because, again, the bottom line is what it, and so, but I can see the progress. We, even with our students, when I came, we were averaging a couple hundred students coming to our game 10 years ago. Now our average is close to 7,000 a year. So we just keep pushing. I think we have the right people in place. Chris Massaro has done an incredible job as an AD. I think we certainly should have our first, after the TSU game 10 years ago, sell-out game without Georgia Tech. We're bringing people saying, well, you don't bring quality teams in. You're playing, teams that no one's. Well, we opened up at Georgia Tech. Can you get any better than that? So we ran. Vanderbilt wouldn't play us. I mean, and the next time we told them actually, well, they're coming up in the I think it's 13th or 14th. The 14th. They push it off. They think, well, maybe in 10 years MTSU would go bad and they'll get better, but we're getting better. The next game with Vanderbilt is to be on the campus. And I told Chris we were not signing a contract with Vanderbilt again until they come to MTSU. We're not going to Nashville to play them. And they finally signed on to that. You know, we can get Virginia and Georgia Tech and Maryland to come to Murfreesboro. Vanderbilt needs to know we don't need them. We don't need to go there to continue that series. And so they did sign on, and the next game is going to be in Murfreesboro. So
My question, how can we, is there anything that we can do to help the university get additional state funding?
yes, I would say and I'm glad you asked that question because I was hinting around that in my speech. Politicians love to be reelected, and the minute they are elected, they're working on that next reelection. So it's very simple. You need to clearly communicate with your area legislator and others, and those folks who come looking for your vote when they're running for governor and all the other statewide positions and senator and congressman and congresswoman, and let them know. And bless his heart, Bob and Bud, I was around when they and Governor Haslam was walking around trying to get votes on our campus, and I heard Bud and Bob ask him the real question: what are you going to do for MTSU? That makes a difference. That's it. And then hold them accountable, because they all would say, yes, I'm going to be smart. They say anything to get elected. I just being a politician and a university president. No, I'm being a politician. But then follow up. See where they're voting on these issues. They just, the General Assembly just gave University of Memphis, they gave them $10 million during this just budget cycle to do a partnership with St. Jude and with UT Health Science to give UT Knoxville $10 million for Oak Ridge, and they just pump another $6 billion to the University of Memphis to buy Lambeth campus and another $4 million. I said, what are they doing for your university? And if they don't give you the right answer, tell them, I'm not going to vote for you next year or whenever you come up, and my son, my daughter, my uncle, my dog, my cat not going to vote for you when you come up. They'll get the message. So that would be my advice. I hope you're not going to publish. Who's recording? Where are you? This is the recording. Sorry, have you? And then I'll get you. Yes, sir.
That's fine. My question is very similar to that.
Okay.
In terms of the allocation, is that an annual allocation for each student? Is that an annual budget issue at the state level? And the process to get that changed, is that revisited every budget cycle?
It is, and there was a whole discussion the last couple of years with Governor Bredesen, coming out with this new reform on higher education that pretty much, and that's a whole session, I can come by and talk to you just on that, in which they revisited the formula that funds university and gave focus more on research. Remember I told you that they held us back for all these years. We couldn't get graduate programs because of TSU, and all of a sudden the new program last year they put in place in funding institutions says, well, we're going to give it extra credit and extra to institutions that do research and graduate programs, and who did that benefit? University of Tennessee and the University of Memphis.